Are purist musicians finally starting to be converted over to enjoying AI music? Well, today I'm going to be reacting to a content creator named Sync My Music, speaking about how he initially was apprehensive to accept AI music and now he's starting to actually enjoy it. This content creator talks a lot about syncing your music on TV and film, and this is an area that's vulnerable to an AI takeover. Make sure you stay tuned to the very end of this video because there's a ton of valuable information that you're going to need to know as a music creator. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Something kind of, I don't know, confusing, I guess is the best way to put it, happened. A few years back when I started covering AI music on this channel, I kind of took it seriously and thought this could be a real threat to us as licensing composers. We obviously started with the really terrible Google Music LM models that were cranking out, which sounded like 80s computer or video game music. It was really bad. But I had a hunch that the technology would exponentially increase in quality to the point where you could almost not really tell whether or not a song was AI generated or not. And I feel we are at that moment now. And another maybe sadder prediction I did have back then was not only would we sometimes not know if we were listening to AI music, but that we would actually love some AI music. Not just think, okay, that's pretty cool. I could see what they were trying to do with that. I don't really like it. I'm not a fan of it. But, you know, I'm not mad at it. It's pretty good and high quality. I thought at some point we would actually be falling in love with AI created tracks. Well, that just happened to me. So as of 2 days ago, I was working out, just had a little random mix on my YouTube app, and this new song comes on I hadn't heard before. Sort of like a melodramatic rock song, kind of an emo, screamo kind of a song. But I really liked it. It was heavy, great melodies, great lyrics, had an awesome falsetto voice. It doesn't matter the band name or anything like that. The point of it was that as I was listening to it, now I did not know it was AI. I just liked the band. And so immediately hit repeat. I'm just listening to this song, 10 times as I'm working out. I get home, I look them up. I'm like, who is this band? What are they all about? No social media presence. Kind of one of the big giveaways, by the way, if you guys want to know, if you're listening to AI music, look them up online. Which band or artist or songwriter doesn't want to have social media presence with their picture and a video out? Like, if you don't see anything, you just see music released on streaming platforms, could be a giveaway, right? So nothing there. And then also I saw that they were just releasing single after single after single, basically as new albums with new artwork. And obviously you could see a lot of the artwork was AI generated as well. So those are kind of the tip-offs as well.
Oh, man, that's crazy, man. He straight up said he loved the song. Guys, a similar thing happened to me. It wasn't a rock band. It was a kind of like a soul song. It sounded somewhat similar to the artist Snow Allegra, if you guys have ever heard of her. I like the music. I looked the person up, and similar to him, I got suspicious when I saw the AI art cover. Kept looking them up more and more, and I come to discover that they really had no true background, and it just finally hit me that, wow, I actually was enjoying an AI song. Now, I can't say that I love the song, but I could say that I felt the song, and it was pretty cool. One thing about music, at least for me personally, I like knowing at least a little bit about the artist's background, where they come from, where they grew up, who are some of their influences. I don't need to know all the fine details about them, all their personal business per se. That's just not me. However, just having a little bit of understanding of who they are helps to develop a connection, especially if there's parts of their identity that draws a connection to me and I can start to relate. Like maybe some of their musical influences are my musical influences and we can relate on that level. So having good music on its own is definitely good, but I will say that a background story of a recording artist is definitely really going to help to drive that love home. So I'm sure generative AI can create great music. Like I said, and like he said, it's possible. The essence of who the artist is definitely helps to draw a deeper connection musically. But let's go ahead and get back into the video.
As I discovered that, loving the song, finding out it wasn't quote unquote real, it wasn't coming from a real band. My first feeling was, man, I fell for it. Like I felt like it was a practical joke, like a prank, like I had been duped, like I was stupid. And I did not like that feeling at all. And I really was mad at the creator for doing that. And I was kind of feeling that there was a sort of bait and switch. There was a sort of presentation of something. And then when you want to, look, and I realized I also was looking for a connection. Like I want to connect with who is making this amazing, beautiful music. I want to find out who they are. I want to see what they look like. I want to find out what town they're from. Are they touring? Right? All the things that we do when we find music we love. Empty, nothing there. Now there is a name that was associated, like it was like created by some guy's name, but there's no information about who this guy is. And so I also was thinking, if I can't get access to a band that created this, I actually am still curious about who this kid is that created this music. Like, did he write the lyrics and then prompt a music model? Did he write the music and then prompt just the lyrics on top with the vocals? Did he actually sing this and just AI generate the rest of it? Like, I am actually curious who the person is and how they use these tools to achieve the quality that they did, because I want to know how much of this is your genius and how much of this is just you got kind of lucky prompting an AI model. But of course, this person didn't put out any information. So again, no connection there. I couldn't get my curiosity satisfied. So it just had this negative feeling, right?
That's a really interesting thought that he had there. It's never really come across my mind to look up or to just think about the person who prompted the AI recording artist. To me, it just always seems like, just to put it straight up, it always seems kind of slimy to me. That's just my opinion. If somewhere on the artwork or somewhere in the description, they put something like, this is an AI generated musician, or this is, something to that effect. Personally, I think I would feel better about it, but just putting it out there, and you need to disclose that this is an AI recording artist and not a real human. If somebody did prompt it themselves, and I just really don't care. Honestly, I just don't care. I'm like, whatever. You prompted something that sounded good. Maybe you contributed some to the lyrics. Maybe you didn't. Let me hear your music independently. What do you sound like? Let's hit play button on something in your discography, person who AI generated this new artist. Let me hear what that's like. And if it's not up to par, doesn't cut the mustard, then I'm like, no wonder you had to use AI to do this and create this artist, because this is a version of you who you couldn't get to. So that might sound kind of harsh. That's just my perspective. You guys might disagree. If you guys do disagree, that's fine. Definitely let me know in the comments, but let's go ahead and get back into the video.
It just had this negative feeling, right? And later in the day, I hadn't, blocked it or not wanted to listen to it again or anything like that, but I was just laying in bed and I was listening to it again. And this time when I listened to it, I tried to stay open. I was like, I'm just going to stay open because I love this song. I do not feel good about what it is and how it was created, or that the fact that I just don't know how it was created. And if it was purely prompted by an AI model, I'm really not happy with that. I don't feel good about that. And it was kind of weird as I was listening to it again, new kind of dreadful feelings popped up, like almost anxiety, anxious thoughts and feelings started to come up, which was circling around this idea that if AI can make me fall in love with it from this song, what are the implications of that, right? Like, what else could AI make me fall in love with to persuade me to go in certain directions, or to believe certain things, or to love certain, even if it's just like something as benign as, maybe it's not as benign, but just a great catchy song. If it can really hook me in and pull me into that, what does that mean for the future, right? And do I want to listen to music like that? Do I want to be exposed to music that's where it's unclear as to whether or not this is AI generated or not? If I don't, maybe I need to change up how I'm consuming music. Maybe I need to use a different platform that maybe is better at labeling AI music and maybe siphoning it off or preventing it or something like that. So I haven't made any decisions on that, but it was a very, very intense, kind of overwhelming feeling of like, wow, like we've crossed that uncanny valley where we are now becoming cyborg in a way, of like AI and machines are coming into our emotional musical space and stirring the pot a little bit.
I could definitely see where he's coming from. It's like, if you can get an emotional connection with AI generated music, could you maybe develop an emotional connection with AI generated videos, AI generated, like, let's just say a sitcom, maybe your favorite actor or actress would actually be an AI generated character. Maybe there's a new TV show out and you really relate to the person. And then before you know it, like, wait a minute, that person that I really liked on this new, let's just say Netflix TV show is isn't a real human being. This is an AI person, and they never disclosed it anywhere that this isn't a real human being. And that could be kind of weird and really strange feeling, because it's like, if I knew, maybe I could prepare myself mentally to know that I'm about to engage with an artificial person. Let's go ahead and get back into the video.
So anyways, the rest of the day goes on. I go to the gym this morning and I'm not really thinking about it much. And I'm just kind of listening to more music, and a new song pops up, and it's just an awesome, great kind of blues rock, just a great song. I love the lyrics. It's just got this great confidence. It's perfect for working out. Again, suspicions are up. Something about these lyrics, something about how it's put out, is this AI or not? Now I got to start asking that every time I hear a new song. Sure enough, I go find out no information on the artist. They're releasing singles or releasing new albums with one track on them with new artwork. All the artwork looks like it's AI generated. Damn it. Happened again. I fell in love with another track that was purely AI generated. And these are original tracks, by the way. I know those like covers are pretty cool. You hear like an old 50 Cent a song done like in the 50s Motown style. Those are cool, but we're kind of more in love with those because like we love the 50 Cent track, or we grew up with the track. So I don't know. I feel like I put that in a different category. This is just new original content being generated, and basically just grabbing me and being very, very compelling to have me want to listen to it.
There was a clip from T.I.'s podcast where he mentioned that he believes that AI should have its own separate platform or own separate chart for AI music, where the listener could be able to, go between human created music and AI created music. I'm paraphrasing. Hopefully I'm not misquoting you, T.I. I don't want to run into you in the city and you check me expeditiously. But, I thought that was a pretty cool idea. If you wanting to engage with AI music, you could just click a button, check out some of the AI recording artists. But if you want real human created music, you would click another button. You can engage with that. From a consumer perspective, that would be pretty cool. But from a business perspective, these larger platforms like, Spotify and whatnot, that could possibly, they could run into like, issues generating listeners and whatnot, people having to get on the app and go back and forth. And at the end of the day, these companies are really here to, turn a profit. I don't think they want anything to stop them from just growing and expanding and just having more power and leverage. And it looks like at this point, man, he's fallen in love with the music. The music is really good. Maybe I should listen to more AI recording artists and see if I enjoy them just by for purely research purposes. But I, as of yet, just found stuff that I really liked, but I can't really say I really, really, really connected to. It just sounded good, felt good, but I never had that, the bone chilling and that real good feeling you get when somebody's really, really doing something intense musically. That really hasn't hit me yet, but you never know. Things are still pretty new. That could definitely happen. But let's go ahead and get back into the video.
So obviously, a part of me wants to block it because, first of all, those streams are obviously competing with the very artists that those models trained off of. I think that argument can be put to rest now. The idea that like, oh, it's all just fair use. Like they're not competing with the original creators. These songs, I looked them up, I looked at their stats. There's hundreds of thousands of plays, streams. Those streams are being monetized. Somebody who prompted those is getting that income, as opposed to all the bands and artists that had their music trained upon, right? So it is directly, immediately on the platform competing. So definitely a part of me wants to never play those songs because I just don't want to support that. I really want to support the original artists. The conflicted side of my brain goes, it's really good. It's actually really, really strong songwriting. Great lyrics, great melody. You can't deny that, even if it was AI generated. So hopefully that's clarifying why I'm so schizophrenic on this right now. I'm kind of just split on all this, okay?
That's another great point, because a lot of this music is being created off of music that so many of us already like. If you're training off of, let's just say, 80 songs that are in the soul genre, let's just say like 90s R&B soul, 90s R&B, and then that this is music that people already like, it's already charted, and then you remix it, and then you spit it out as an output, and then now someone's creating an AI artist based on the catalog of music that we already enjoy. So of course we're going to enjoy the new AI derivative of it, and then at the same time, like he just mentioned, now this new AI song is trained off of the older music, and then now it's competing with the music it was trained off of, and the original creators aren't being credited or compensated for them training the new artificial artists, which of course, once again, there's more ethical and human related social issues that come along with that. So it's just important to keep that in mind, guys, as we engage with AI, is what are the consequences is going to mean for actual human beings. But let's go ahead and get back into the video.
And then, of course, the other side of me in the more kind of spiritual sense is, do I want to be influenced by AI art? And honestly, no. Like right now, obviously, I just feel like that's an obvious no. I do not want AI generated art, messaging, lyrics, even music, even chord progressions, even structures of tracks. I don't want that to be influencing me. And I'm very aware of the fact that I am influenced. It's like garbage in, garbage out. Whatever comes in is what can come out of me. And so I need to make sure that I'm very mindful of my, diet of what I'm consuming, both in music and in, using chat bots, using audio interfaces, or the, the speech back and forth with AI, researching with AI, all that kind of stuff. I feel like I might have become a little bit too open to using these technologies, and thinking that it's going to save me time on researching it. And many times it does, but also I need to be more thoughtful of, what am I inviting in, right? What kind of influence, what kind of perception, what kind of spiritual messaging am I putting into my head, especially when it's coming from unknown sources. I don't know exactly who's generating this music, what their point of view is, what they're all about.
Wow, another great point. The things are coming from unknown sources. That's the thing that I've been thinking about. Currently, I'm assuming me and this content creator sync my music. We're probably roughly in the same age range. And it's like the newer generation, when they come up, let's just say people who are just young, essentially kids, like the new world that they enter in is what they're going to perceive as normal. So they're not going to really have any type of context to filter out what's what. That's just going to be the way the world is, prompting Chat GPT, using auto spell correct. I've personally noticed sometimes my spelling has gotten weaker using, auto correct. And I think the same thing is possible for other areas. Maybe even critical thinking skills will start to atrophy even more because we're so dependent on AI to help us come to conclusions. And once again, like he mentioned, it's being trained from unknown sources, and then we're becoming dependent on it. So, sometimes convenience is good, productivity is good, but then it's like, at what cost? But let's get back into the video.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. I do have a very strong history of doing so. I am a classic kind of overthinker, overanalyzer. But I also do really, really think that music is very important. I think it does affect us in more ways than just giving us some ear candy to listen to. I think it affects our mood. It affects our perception. It affects even to the top line of how we see ourselves, how we view the world, how we view emotions, how we view relationships, our music, work, relationship, all of it. I think it really can have a big, big, strong impact. So I'm just going through it right now. I don't really have it sorted out, but I really want to hear from all of you guys. Have you had this experience yet? Especially those of you that have gone through something like this and you've fallen in love with an AI track and not known it was AI. Maybe this would, get some of you guys to go look at your listening history and go, oh crap, like, are some of my new bands that I love actually AI? I actually don't know. Maybe some of you will go learn that now and find out whether or not. You're not going to see something that says, yes, this was AI generated. Very few people who are doing this stuff are going to clearly label it as AI. Most of the time, you just won't see a human fingerprint behind it. And that to me is sort of the tell that there's probably no full band or somebody that's willing to stand behind the art to say, yep, it was me and I generated it and here's how I did it.
All right, guys, some great points were made in this video. So what do you guys think about this? Have you been fooled by different AI created recording artists? Did you enjoy the music? Do you care if your new favorite recording artist or song is actually created by a human being or generated by AI? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. I'll be glad to check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. My name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace. Wait, before you go, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com where you can get free FL Studio Patcher plugins, free loops, free guides, everything you need to level up your music production. Once again, go to DesmondASounds.com or click the link in the description. Go there now and totally transform your music production.